News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks. Iran says it's suspending its commitments under an interim peace deal and unleashed heavy attacks on Gulf neighbors in retaliation for the latest round of U.S. strikes aimed at Tehran's military capabilities and infrastructure. Bloomberg national security reporter Courtney McBride has the latest.
We are seeing tit-for-tat strikes between the U.S. and Iran, and we're not quite at the point of an escalation to or return to full-scale conflict, but we certainly are seeing more damage and expansion of targets by the U.S., both geographically and in terms of the types of sites that are being hit.
Kuwait suffered one of the heaviest barrages overnight since the conflict started, including hits to its airport and an oil facility. And these attacks have caused Brent crude to surge and settle around $88 on Friday, notching its biggest weekly advance since April. That followed an Axios report that the Trump administration notified Israel that it's sending more refueling planes to the country, a possible signal that U.S. military operations could expand in the coming days. New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani says he's in an active conversation now with the city's law department on whether he has the authority to get Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arrested if Netanyahu comes to New York for the UN's General Assembly in September. He talked to the New York Times about it.
I believe that Prime Minister Netanyahu belongs in The Hague. He's a war criminal who has been charged by the International Criminal Court. And what you will find is that is an opinion that is held by many purely because of what his actions have wrought over these last many years.
Mamdani says he'd be honoring a warrant issued by the International Criminal Court over the war in Gaza. But Netanyahu addressed Mamdani's threat in a recent interview, saying he's not concerned and accused the mayor of supporting Hamas. Republican Congressman Ralph Norman says he'll run for South Carolina's open Senate seat, setting up a potential primary contest with late Senator Lindsey Graham's sister.
I'll be throwing my hat in the ring, and day one, I will be laser focused on passing President Trump's America First, and it starts with the Save America Act. We'll nuke the filibuster, and I will be a vocal vote and a supporter to make this happen. And it's not happening in the Senate right now. That's why I'm doing it.
Norman on Fox News. He's already collected endorsements from Senate Republicans Rick Scott and Mike Lee. But President Trump has endorsed Darlene Graham, who took over the seat this week after her brother's death. The death toll from twin earthquakes in Venezuela keeps rising and has now passed 5,000 as search and rescue operations continue in some areas with international assistance. The country's also drawn millions from its reserves at the International Monetary Fund since the quakes hit last month to help finance recovery and reconstruction. Thousands of people have been displaced there. Meantime, millions are muddling through more unhealthy air today in the Great Lakes, Northeast, and Mid-Atlantic from uncontrolled wildfires in Canada. President Trump has threatened Canada with more tariffs for the wildfire pollution, which he says is costing the U.S. billions of dollars. Bloomberg's Emily Forgash is covering this and says conditions seem to be improving.
It has gotten a bit better today and will keep getting better through the day. We expect some rain in New York today. That should help. And the World Cup match seems to be happening tomorrow, although that can always change.
Emily Forgash on Bloomberg This Weekend. FIFA says it's monitoring the situation, but doesn't expect the final to be impacted. Today, England will face France for third place in Miami. Federal health officials have identified lettuce from Mexico served by Taco Bell locations across 5 states as a source of that diarrhea-causing parasite, Cyclospora. The USDA is also looking into Taylor Farms products, including their salad kits that have been linked to the outbreak. Apple's in talks to settle a 2024 lawsuit with the Justice Department that claims the iPhone maker violated antitrust laws. The DOJ accused Apple of monopolizing the market for high-end smartphones, in part by blocking so-called super apps and discouraging outside messaging solutions. So far, the two sides have reportedly exchanged draft settlement materials, but there's no guarantee they'll reach an agreement. And finally, I mentioned today's World Cup match between England and France, but the Open Championship also continues today in Southport. Lucas Herbert tops the leaderboard heading into round 3 at 8 under par, and there's a 3-way tie for second with Cameron Young, Jackson Suber, and Ryan Gerard all at 6 under par. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks, and this is Bloomberg.